celebration. Simcha, Simcha, the celebration of life.
Hi and welcome to Simcha, a celebration of life. I'm your host, Jared Epstein. In November 2017, the Johannesburg Jewish Male Choir, or the JJMC, held a tribute concert for founding member and now musical director, Evelyn Green. The JJMC first performed in 1986 on the stage of the Linda Auditorium in Johannesburg to pay tribute to the memory of cantor Johnny Gluck.
I have a great passion for music. Music is my love, and being a classical pianist, I did a lot of chamber music and concertos with the orchestra and accompanying. But I had never been exposed to Jewish music per se until the mid-1970s. I remember going to a concert I was playing at in a house in Northcliffe. I was playing in a piano quintet, and Gus Levy was there with the Berea Shul Choir. And they sang the Susharian by Naumburg. And I thought, oh my gosh, this music is incredible. I want to get involved with this. But being young and not having elbows, I never really had the opportunity. And when I met Bob Borowski, and subsequently met Johnny, they got me involved in the Jewish music scene. So in fact, my life did a 360-degree turnaround. So I got very involved through Bob and Gus and Leo, and Johnny, of course. Actually, it was like a magnet and drew me into this wonderful form of music, called Jewish music.
Well, the Johannesburg Jewish Male Choir started some 33 years ago as a memorial concert for the late cantor Johnny Gluck, who passed away prematurely. And that was the beginning. The concert was launched at the Linda Auditorium in Johannesburg, and a cantor by the name of Naftali Herstek volunteered his services to come and participate in this magnificent memorial concert. One gets quite emotional when one talks about it and thinks about it. And since then, the concert has gone through a few trials and tribulations, but we've earned a reputation. We've traveled internationally, we've traveled locally, spreading the concept of liturgical music, broader fields of Jewish music, and also incorporating music repertoire in English and possibly other languages as well.
Jewish music is very similar to opera, to Verdi and Puccini. Verdi and Puccini, the language is Italian and we sing in Hebrew, but it's also the bel canto style of singing. And also, again, I must say that having had the great privilege of working with Johnny was just something so superb. Had the man been alive today, I think he would have been probably one of the greatest chazonim alive. It was just a passion and an emotion. I loved going to shul. I always did go to shul from a little girl. Hearing this music, and the music just did something to my neshama, and I thought, this is really catching on. So I was involved with the JJMC right through in my capacity as the secretary and the accompanist. And then from the middle of 2005, I was asked to take over being the musical director as well as the pianist. So I got more I was still involved, but involved from a different aspect, because I now had to find repertoire and do the arrangements. And this is where I have to say that Russell Lurie, the current chairman and the chairman of many years, and both he and I have steered this choir to where it is. He is the most incredible captain of the ship. And whilst he is a world-renowned maxillofacial specialist, he has an incredible insight into music, into Jewish music, and for being a professor of maxillofacial surgery, he is very creative. I've often said to him, I think you missed your career, you should actually be a musician.
The JJMC's programs have encapsulated the very core of Judaism, reflecting the history and hopes of the Jewish people. A picture may say more than 1,000 words, but a song reaches those hidden and uncharted places of the heart, mind and soul. In a language that knows no geographical boundaries, the choir's music speaks to every listener.
To use the old hackneyed cliche, the rhythm of life is a powerful beat. The rhythm of music is a powerful beat. The rhythm of change is a powerful beat. One must keep with the times, and in keeping with the times, one must hold on to the traditions that we value. And music, like everything else, is a developing science. Emotions develop. Music is a world of emotions. Science develops. Everything develops. And one must walk with the developing pace in the developing world in which we live. And if we don't adapt our music for adapting times, we would end up dated and obsolete, and we're not. And that is why we've chosen to sing pieces like Josh Groban's You Raise Me Up. And that truly raised the choir up. It raised the audience up. It took us up to a different notch. It was one of my favorite pieces, and I so enjoyed singing it. And I so enjoyed being part of a piece that was a modern piece, and perhaps not a piece that one might have heard from this choir 20 years ago. And it truly keeps the choir abreast and apace with the modern trend and the modern rhythm.
Since the establishment of the State of Israel, music has also changed, because we are singing music, songs that come out of Israel. These songs are joyous, these songs are encouragement. I don't know if the population out here know that not a single song of war has come out from the land of Israel. It's always been one of peace, Shalom al Yisrael. It's always been songs reflecting family. It's been songs reflecting the growth of children. And that takes a different tenure than the old type, but I don't say that in a derogatory fashion. The old type of music. If we forget what we had before, I think the Jewish people would collapse. It is these traditional musical scores that were written years ago, an affiliation to the higher being, to God. It must be there, it should be there as a reminder and as a means of communicating with God. There's a lot of work that goes into taking this music and incorporating it into a choir made up of volunteers, gentlemen, young people, prepared to give up a Sunday evening for about 3 hours to be under the whip, so to speak, of charming lady, and we learn through her enthusiasm
with the fact that the younger generation do not know the old classic chazonis pieces. One's also stuck with the younger generation not wanting to know. There are barriers that one finds that we are up against, and the only way to transcend those barriers is to make the music beautiful, and that can be done by holding on to the traditional music and blending it with a little bit of the lighter stuff, something else which Evelyn is absolutely gifted at.
We have to maintain the enthusiasm of the younger people. Difficult, but it can be done. And at times there are frustrations, but eventually when things come together and those harmonious sounds are heard, one can see the light in the eyes of the choristers because they feel that they've achieved something.
The fun part about the JJMC is it's not only young people, but there are a lot of older people, older than me at least, and you get to learn the experience because they've been singing for a long time. You get to understand how they read the music. That's how I learned to read music, is not only from Evelyn but from members of the choir that I've sat next to in rehearsals and sung with. There's a lot of experience that they have that they can share. And also what was great was it wasn't only singing experience but also life experience that you learn as a young boy growing up. And as a young man now, I believe that most of the lessons that I've learned
So this has been an evolution which has taken place over, I'd say, the last 35 years. Not much older than that, but I believe, and I've heard recordings of the cantors of old, and things were very different in those times. I'm just saying, without technology and all the distractions that we have today. So the youth, they could, what they used to do is they used to go to shul. They used to come to a synagogue and they used to listen to the cantor and the chazan, and that was a form of entertainment. But things have changed, and today there are the cell phones, there's movies, there's so many other things which the youth would rather prefer to do than maybe come to the synagogue and listen to the cantor. So because of that, there had to be a big change to the way the service is put forward and put across.
With the times that we're living in at the moment, liturgical music, and I think very often people misinterpret the word liturgical music and chazanut. Liturgical music, in my opinion, is the setting of psalms and prayers to music. And we were very spoilt with the great Jewish composers of Lewandowski and Rosenblatt and Naumburg, the great masters, the classical composers. But today, there are more, if I can use the word, modern or contemporary composers, like Meyer Finkelstein, Jeffrey Schüssler, Saul Zim, Karlebach, and their music is very melodic. One can almost begin to anticipate the next note. Everybody says it's modern, but how do you define modern music? For me, the harmonies are just a little bit more discordant, to the point of sounding more impressionistic, like Debussy and Ravel. And so it's very difficult to get a program together. So I say to Russell, right, what are we going to do? Where do we start? Because sometimes I find that my brain's on pause and I just can't think of what we should do. And then all of a sudden some inspiration comes and we start thinking We usually find that if we have a theme, then we can build compositions and build a program around the theme. Otherwise, one is inclined to be more in a vacuum. But we'll get there.
I think that the music uplifts. I've seen it uplift. It's hard to stand there on stage and keep one's eye on the ball. We dare not take our eye off Evie, who conducts us, lest we should drop the ball. However, what I have noticed behind Evie is an audience filled with the type of glow that is what keeps me coming back. It's a sense of fulfillment that is very difficult to describe. It's not only the sense of achievement that one feels within oneself, and it's not only for the love of the music that we sing, but it's for the greater binding of the community. I truly believe in my heart that when we get up on stage and sing, we exchange passions and we create an unbelievable link in a chain between a choir, the chazonim, and our audience.
The Johannesburg Jewish Male Choir's performances reflect the dedication, enthusiasm, and commitment of every choir member, as well as the outstanding talent of the accomplished director, Evelyn Green.
It's an absolute pleasure to work with Evelyn Green because she knows what she wants musically, and she will go to the end of the world to achieve her desire for what she looks for. She looks for perfection, she looks for interpretation and honesty with the music. So many times she mentions we cannot change the music because we have to respect what the arranger or the author of the music has written. But we do cheat a little sometimes. To work with her is an absolute privilege. Not only do I work with her, but I come to her for lessons in singing and so forth. And I think at one stage in her career, every cantor in Johannesburg attended for lessons. She's not stingy in her desire to help people. Anybody can cross the threshold of her home, choose a piano, and you've probably seen the two pianos, the grand piano and the upright, and she will accommodate as best she can.
Evelyn's unbelievable. I don't know where she gets all the energy and everything to do what she does. I mean, I've got a pinprick of an insight to what she does. I have organized concerts in the past, but she does it literally single-handedly, and it's really unbelievable. Not only the music side, but the organizational side is it's a tremendous feat, which actually I don't know anyone who could do that.
In the JJMC, we deal with talented artists, but we also have to remember that our teacher and our inspiration, Evelyn Green, she is also an amazing musician, amazing teacher, and amazing artist. And it's difficult when we sing with other talented artists that have come from different parts of the world and different parts of the country, and to put all of this together. Only weeks before, we rely on Evelyn's talent and her organization skills and her ability to do all of this and put all of it together. And if you hear how it all comes together, you would have thought that we had rehearsed together from the beginning.
Children's choirs will, please God, carry on as long as we possibly can. It's been going we are now entering our 33rd year, which is quite a marathon. I know that the London Jewish Male Choir has also been going for, I think, maybe exact same length of time as we are. And it's difficult, but all I can say is as long as I've got the energy and the enthusiasm and the koach, and I've got Russell helping me and working together with me and guiding the choir, please God, we will continue for many years to come.
On that note, get it? A musical note? We reach the end of this week's episode of Simcha, a celebration of life. If you think you could beat these guys in a singing contest, send me a Facebook message and let me know. From me, Jared Epstein, and the Simcha team, we wish you a week filled with music and memories.